Becoming sustainable is usually not a very motivating process. It's most often about not doing the things we love. But what I want to give you in this session is another paradigm, another way of thinking of sustainability, and one that is motivating, one that brings meaning, one that's fun, one that creates a world that all of us want to live in. So for the future, we need to grow, but by different measures. Maybe your next strategy consultant is a biologist. My name is Anders Hvid. I'm based in Copenhagen, Denmark. I am the founder and partner in a think tank consultancy company called Dare Disrupt for the last 12 years. We have been working with emerging technologies and how they interact with the green transition to create a better future. I can't wait to see you in Austin. Listen, we live in a multi-crisis, right? We have climate change, biodiversity, we have technological disruption, we have international tension. So being a successful company is not just about creating profit. To survive and thrive, we must learn to navigate the change in our ecosystem. We need to become much more aware of all the things that happens around us. And we must create organizations that are capable of reacting to these changes. Of course, avoiding problems, but really what's really interesting is the opportunity. So never miss a good crisis, right? So in all these changes that is happening around us, all these crises is also business opportunity. Yeah, so I suggest that we look to nature for inspiration. Let's start by defining nature. Nature is not just a tree or an animal. We are nature, and we sometimes forget that we actually are nature ourselves. We have falsely learned to live by the idea that we are separated from nature. And just because we live in a house that protects us from bad weather, or we no longer need to kill our food ourselves, it does not mean that we're not 100% dependent on nature. Every material you touch comes from nature. It's not just a resource, it's an ecosystem. So we are nature. And this inspiration, we've used this method for many years when we design products and inspired by nature. We call it biomimicry. What I'm suggesting is that we find the same inspiration when looking towards our business models. How do we operate as a company inspired by nature? This is the things I will touch upon in my session. So technology is an important part of our future, right? And it's really interesting because in many ways, technology has been the accelerator of many of these crises that we face, right? We have used technology to become more efficient. And instead of leading us into a patch of using less resources by becoming more efficient, no, quite the opposite has happened, right? As we become more efficient, the product becomes cheaper, which often leads to more consumption. We call this rebound effects or Jevons paradox. The way we apply technology is certainly part of the problem we face. But technology also has to be part of the solution. There's no way we can solve these problems without using technology. And you cannot say this technology is more sustainable than the other one. It's really about how we apply the technology. What business models do they need to support? Technology is part of the solutions, but we need to rethink the business models that the technology enables. Business and how we run our business is really a key in succeeding as societies in the green transition. Today, becoming sustainable, it's most often not a very motivating process, right? It's about stopping a lot of things. And there's a lot of conversation it makes sense to have conversations these days about degrowth. Can we decouple emissions from business growth? That is still an open question, right? But what I'm talking about here, being regenerative, being inspired by nature, I mean, look at nature. There's nothing but growth. So what we're talking about here is another paradigm of solving this problem. And it's a fun one, right? It's one where we create a world where we want to be part of. It's one where we can grow and scale our businesses because we want to be part of the solution. So businesses is really the key making this change.